You know, it's just a great honor to be here today. I want to thank everybody with the Gator Bowl, the city of Jacksonville. It's been a great experience. I would be lying if I didn't tell you a very hectic one. It's not usually the way you get ready for a bowl game with 8 days notice, but we take it any way we can get it, and we're really, really happy about being here, excited about playing in the game. The players have had a tremendous time, and now it's time to play, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, we'll open it up for questions for the players or Coach Schiano. We've got a microphone, so put your hand up. We'll start here in the middle, yes. Name and affiliation, please. Thank you.
Sure. Gary Smith, Florida Times Union. Coach, thanks for being here. At this point, can we assume that you guys are going to be okay from a health standpoint to play the game?
Sure can.
Okay. And second of all, looking back over the last 6 or 7 days, you talk about the hectic nature of this. If somebody told you this is going to happen, are you surprised that you were able to mobilize this quickly in retrospect? And maybe what does that say for the people involved in your program for the fact that you were able to do that?
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say, is that I'm not surprised because of the people who work at Rutgers and the players that we have at Rutgers. When A&M pulled out of the game, jokingly, I called one of my guys that work with us, and I said, hey, you want to go to a bowl game? Literally joking. A half hour later, he called back and said, hey, that may not be too far from the truth. And I called the people who head the departments. I said, can we do this? They said yes. I said, okay. Then I reached out and asked a few of the guys if they want to do it, because I didn't want to be the only one that wanted to do it. And our players were great. Let's go, coach. And before I could get to them all, Johnny Langan texted me, Gator Bowl, let's go. So, you know, with the Gator emoji, these guys with the emojis. So I kind of got the feel, okay, they want to do it. And then we waited to see if we were going to be the team that got to come.
Here in the front row on the left, we'll get to you next, sir.
Yes, good morning. Andrew Snorton, Status Network. This is a question for Julius Turner. We've heard of the notion of stay ready. How would you explain, let's say, the stay ready mentality is helping you as you're preparing for this week's game?
You said what mentality? Stay ready?
Stay ready. Stay ready.
Stay ready.
Stay ready?
Stay ready.
Oh,
yes,
yeah. Well, I mean, we have a kind of mentality over here is CHOP, and we just, you know, always ready for anything. Like Coach said, I was surprised how you got everybody up here. Like, during COVID, we've been through a lot, and it's been so much that we have to do and maneuver and work through. So I knew he was going to have a plan. I knew he was going to have us prepared to everybody else to get up here. So, yep, we ready, and we're chopping too.
On the front row, yes, sir.
Greg, Keith Sargent, NJ.com. Do you look at a bowl game as almost like an homage to players or your veteran guys to get them in and start them, or as like a building block and try to play as many young guys as possible and kind of focus on 2022? How do you just go into it from that thinking?
Well, the bowl experience I look at as a reward for your team. You know, I think you have to make that something that they look back on as a great memory and enjoyable thing. Now, when you have the full time to get ready, we do it differently. We have a phase one, which is developmental phase, and that is always the young guys getting the predominance of the reps. So these guys would have come out maybe for 30, 40 minutes just to stay in shape and do some football stuff, and then they would go in, and the young kids would then practice for an hour and a half, 2 hours. We didn't get that, right? We had 4 practices to get ready. So this was truly a game week. But in a regular setting, once you get to the site, we've always treated it, this is a reward for the guys, and that's why the game plan's always installed before you get there, and then you shine it up at the bowl site. This has been different. This has been putting the game plan together, you know, as we go. So that's why my voice sounds like it does.
Here on the right side, and we'll go to the front row next.
Cameron Devereaux, Demi Deacon Digest. Coach Schiano, Dave Clawson the other day mentioned that you made a little pit stop after his first year at Wake Forest. What's your recollection of how the team looked then, and how does they look right now? We're about to play them tomorrow.
Yeah, Dave and I have known each other for, I guess it's like 30 years. He's made a few pit stops with where I've worked, many pit stops actually. My wife and I were laughing this morning. We were probably both, I don't know, 25, 26, had no money. So they came to visit. I was a GA at Penn State, And she made us, I didn't remember this, but she says, yeah, I cooked all of you guys dinner, and you sat there and drew on the board. I said, oh, yeah, it sounds like us. So, but yeah, it's been 30 years and a great relationship. Dave, I have the utmost respect for. He's a guy that I, over the years, have called and bounced things off and vice versa. Yeah, so when I was down there, it was when I got let go at Tampa, I kind of went around on a world tour and visited a lot of places. And I really enjoyed that visit. And now I understand it's totally different. Like, they had the little office and now I hear the facilities are off the charts, and good for him. He's built a heck of a program there. He's, like I said, one of the guys that I respect most in this profession.
Let's go front row in the middle. Any other questions? Put your hand up. We'll get to you in the second row next. You third. Yes.
Greg, Chris Eisman from the Bergen Record. We spoke a lot last season about how, because it was so strange and needing to adjust quickly and pivot. I mean, how much do you feel like that prepared you guys for this current situation of just being ready to go as soon as you needed to?
Great question, Chris, and that's something that Julius referred to. You know, we were one of 2 teams, I believe, in the Big Ten Conference that played every game on our schedule. That didn't happen by accident. These guys were unbelievable in what they sacrificed to make sure we could play. So that gave me great confidence that if they wanted to do this like they wanted to do that, we would be able to get ready and get mobilized. Now, I understand the disadvantages. You know, we have a group that's been preparing and in football shape and all those things. But as I told our guys, who cares, right? We'll get it as good as we can, and then let's go out and figure it out. We'll figure it out on Friday, and I think these guys are ready to figure it out.
Second row. Yes, sir.
Justin Lewis from the Times Union. Adam, this is for you. Could you talk a little bit about your schedule? I was at practice yesterday, and you said you were in Australia and just what it took to get you here. And then also, you're staying where the Players' Championship is, and I heard you say you stay up till 3 a.m. to watch that every year. Could you talk about that as well?
Yeah, so, well, to answer the last question, this morning I got on the 17th green, so I'm still on a buzz from that because of how good that hole is. So. But yeah, no, so about 6 or 7 days ago, I was back in Australia and I went through LAX and I saw a rumor on Twitter, get on the plane, arrive in Sydney, get through customs and all that, turn on my Wi-Fi, and then my phone just starts lighting up, like, come back, come back. I'm like, well, it's not that easy, guys. And 3 days of quarantine, 2 negative tests, and then the next day, negative again, back on the plane. So it's a lot of flying, but obviously it's worth it. The great thing is I was able to stay punting, and I was able to work with Billy Taylor, who's a great long snapper who's in a Senior Bowl. So we were working almost every day in our indoor facility. Then got a chance to have a few punts in Australia as well. So yeah, I feel great. And it's great to be here, and you know, it's a tremendous opportunity.
He loves golf so much. I do bed check the night before games. And he's the only player in all my career that when I go in, he's watching the Golf Channel. So
Here in the front row.
Hit the green in 17?
No, I don't think I would hit the green. I'd probably put it straight in the pond, but it was just great to just be out there.
Greg, Steve Politi from Media.com. I know a lot of fans are curious how much you'll be able to play with young guys, especially Gavin Wimsatt. He's got one more game of eligibility. Is he in your plan to get him out there?
we're going to do, Steve, whatever gives us the best chance to win, because I promised these guys that we're coming down, we're letting it hang out. So is Gavin part of that? Certainly. But we're going to play a ton of guys because we have to. It's going to be 80 degrees. You know, we left New Jersey, I think it was 34, right? And we hadn't practiced. We had two practices in the bubble. We tried to turn the heat up a little bit, but yeah, we're gonna play everybody that we think can help us win the game, and Gavin can help us win the game.
Just as a follow-up, besides the reward for the players, what is the single most important thing for the bowl game? Is it recruiting exposure? Is it showing the program to high school players? What would be beyond that?
Well, I think it is a reward for the players. That's the by far. So, like, it's not 1 and 1A. It's like 2's down here. But it is that the program put itself in a position to do it. And why? Because the academic work that these guys did. We didn't win enough games to be bowl eligible, and we own that. What we need to know is the work they did in the classroom is what allowed them to be first up when an opportunity opened. So, you know, I tell them all the time, there are no coincidences. You know, we talk a lot about you reap what you sow, so.
In the back, yes.
Hi, Greg. Mia O'Brien, First Coast News. Being from New Jersey, I know my parents were following along diligently with all the reports that you guys were struggling to find an airplane. Can you kind of walk us through when you guys knew you'd have a plane?
Well, that's a great story. We always do this, right? Our theory is you divide and conquer. Everybody has a job, go do it. And, because our defensive coordinator left, my job kind of got harder. So I literally would see Will Gilkison, who is really runs the program. I don't know what his title is, senior something, 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 but he runs everything. And I'd be walking past him in the hall, got one. And then he'd come back after the next meeting. They canceled. We can't do it. It wasn't obviously the planes. It was crew. It was staffing the planes. And finally, we found one. We had to go on 2 different planes. So myself and a couple of guys, and then the whole squad of players, we came down from Newark. But the rest of the staff came down. We had to drive up to White Plains to get the plane. And then we sat on the runway for 2.5 hours in Newark. And that was interesting. The kids were great, though. They just kind of did their thing. But once we literally, when the wheels got off the ground, I looked, Gilk was sitting next to me. I said, all right, this is official. We're going. So I didn't know if we would. There was a lot of very funny suggestions like, well, you can take a train. One guy wanted it. Why don't we get a cruise ship in Bayonne and take it to, I said, yeah, we'll do all those things. You got it.
Love it. And then also, if you could just describe the emotions for you, not only having coached in Tampa, but then also recruited this area so heavily during your first tenure at Rutgers, the emotions for you coming here to Northeast Florida.
Oh, I check the weather right away. I love Florida. I think it's a great place. And I told these guys right away, I said, it's going to be in the 70s all week. And, they've had a chance to enjoy it. I have not seen it, but my wife told me there was a bunch of guys at the pool and having fun. And that, to me, is what it's about. It's a reward. So I'm thrilled for them.
Here in the middle again, then we'll go here next.
Yeah, no, Wake's got a great offense. They got a great team. I mean, they're 17th in the country. They deserve a lot of respect. And our coaches put together a really, really good game plan to take advantage of some of the things we've seen on tape. And we've been really working hard this week to, kind of knock some of the rust off, but at the same time being aggressive and being confident in what we do. We have a lot of banked reps this season, and we're going to rely on that. We're going to use that to carry us through a lot of the game, and we're going to try to maximize our opportunities while minimizing our risks.
Got time for 2 or 3 more. We'll start here on the right.
Noah, going back to the rust part of things, as a quarterback with the most rhythmic position on the field, what's it like spending almost a month off of football, still working out, but getting back into the realm of things, and how do you expect to go out there tomorrow?
Yeah, from a physical standpoint, I feel good. I can speak for a lot of our team. We do feel really good and rested, and we're excited to play. And I'd say the thing I was probably almost most rusty on was like reading signals. It's almost like it's a language you speak, and when you don't speak it for a little bit, it gets rusty. The good news is that one comes back probably faster than anything. So, but other than that, I think I wouldn't say we're very rusty at all at this point. So, feeling really good.
We'll get one more here in the back. Yes, sir.
Riley Platt for Rivals. Coach, I know Pitt and Rutgers haven't always been the best of friends, but in the ACC championship game, they really helped kind of expose some flaws, I guess, for Wake. How have you modeled that, or have you modeled the game plan after what they did?
Well, I think it's hard. Sometimes people say, well, just do what they did. Well, if that's not in your system, it's not the easiest thing to do. So you have to really, that's why you break down multiple opponents, and that's why time is a nice thing to have when you're getting ready. Right? So a regular preparation for a football game, our young coaches are always a week ahead. So you have the stuff done when you get on the plane or you go to your hotel at home. The whole breakdown is done except one game, the game that your future opponent is going to play the same day you're playing. So we had none of that. So what we just tried to do was get as soon as we thought we might go, I told our young guys, I said, you got to break down these games. I said, and I got to be honest, we may not use any of it, but it's not going to hurt you. It's going to make you a better coach because this is a really good team and you'll learn some things. And I think they were probably as happy as anybody but that all their work got to be used. But you can't really copy something that you don't do. Or you could, but I don't know how good you'd get. Noah used a term that we're very fond of, banked reps. You know, cumulative repetitions. Football's a game of repetition. So the more you do something and it becomes second nature, then you can do it under stress. You know, when you make the changes, there are coaches and teams that do it. We haven't figured out how to do that.
Let's get one more in and we'll call it a day here. Right here in the front.
Thank you. Julius, I think this will be your 58th game career, a record that will never be broken unless there's another pandemic that we don't know about down the line and they give six-year seniors another year of eligibility. Can you put in perspective just how you've been able to play every week, week in, week out? And I guess as a follow-up to Greg, as a guy who's seen a lot of football, how impressive is it for a nose tackle to do it, to play 58 games in a row?
Basically, just staying in a treatment room, just being able to, get my body right. But honestly, I think I'm blessed. I'm a big believer in God, so I think I'm blessed. And I think Adam, we was on the way here. Adam was talking to me he said, we go to a bowl game, I'm break your record, right? I'm like, what? Then so I had to look it up and see it count as games. But it might get broke next year, they go to a bowl game. But honestly, I'm just blessed to be here. So that's how I big it up.
Yeah, it's a great point, Keith. I mean, the position that Julius plays, I'd say 80% of the time, every play you get at least start by getting blocked by two people, right? So to stay healthy that many games and to be able to show up each week, and I can promise you, I say stay healthy. This guy's a tough guy. He's played with a lot of pain because of the love he has for his teammates in our program. So that doesn't go missed by me. We're very appreciative of the toughness that he's displayed every week.